What's going on? Travis here, TravisStetzel.com, TrainAggressive.com, coming to you. Wanted to do a quick video talking about strength duos. Alright, this is one of my many methods that I use in helping people progress with complexes. Alright, so if you're not sure what complexes are, complexes can be applied with tons of different strength tools. So the most common way is with barbell complexes. You can do single, double kettlebell complexes, single, double dumbbell complexes. You can do sandbag complexes. So there's a lot of different ways you can use complexes, and complexes hit pretty much everything across the board. So whether you're working on strength, power, conditioning, using it as a tool to shred fat, complexes are an awesome way to train to hit all those different things across the board. Plus, they save you time. They're quick, but not always easy to do. So what I wanted to go over in this video, as I mentioned, strength duos. This is one of the methods I use to help prepare people for bigger complexes. Alright, so complexes can be anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even up to 10 different movements in a complex chain. So for example, with a barbell, you might do a deadlift for 5 reps, then go into a power clean for 5 reps, then go into a overhead press for 5 reps, then go into a back squat for 5 reps, then go back to overhead presses for 5 reps, and you can keep chaining movements together in the complex to make it obviously more difficult, alright? But one of the main things that people run into are, number one, they suck at the different movements. So that's the first thing that you want to focus in on with complexes. If you're going to be using them, make sure that the movements you have within your complex you are efficient at. Alright, so front squats, back squats, deadlifts, power cleans, hang cleans, all the different movements. Doesn't matter. Make sure you're efficient and you're good at doing that movement so your form and technique is on. Alright, next biggest mistake is loading the complex too heavy. Alright, so all complexes are going to be weighted depending on the weakest movement you're doing in the complex. So for example, if I'm doing a complex with deadlifts, front squats, and overhead presses, alright, you're going to have to load that complex depending on your weakest lift, which is probably going to be the overhead press. Alright, obviously you're going to be able to deadlift, front squat a lot more than you can overhead press, so you can't be loading the complex up depending on your deadlift weight. Alright, you're going to have to load it up with the overhead press, so obviously you can handle the weight with that movement. Alright, that's another big mistake, is weighting it too heavy. Another mistake is problem with chaining the different movements together. Okay, and this might be dependent on if you're just brand new to complexes or your form and technique on different movements aren't there. Alright, you're going to want to focus in on being able to flow properly with the different movements. So it's connecting the movements together. And a lot of times, it's going to be a hang clean that's going to be helping you chain the movements together. Or it might be a power clean, alright? But it's about getting the barbell from the ground to pressing position, alright? All those different things. That's where a lot of people run into trouble with these complexes. So with these strength duos, what these do is take a step back, look at complexes in a simpler way by focusing in on just 2 movements at a time. Alright, and you can use these strength duos in a lot of different ways. Any 2 movements you want to use, really, putting these strength duos together, that'll help you out with getting better at complexes overall. So if you're just starting off with complexes, you haven't done, any big time complexes with 3, 4 or more movements in it, take a step back. I recommend focusing in on strength duos first to get yourself good at chaining the movements together and then progressing from there. Alright, so with this, I'm just going to go over a couple different my favorite setups for strength duos. Alright, so you can start using these in your own training to help prepare you for bigger, longer, more highly advanced complexes. Alright, so typically we're just going to start off with 5 reps a movement. Alright, so one of my favorite setups for this is going to be a power clean to a front squat, okay? And learning the hang clean and the power clean, like I mentioned earlier in the video here, is going to be critical, all right? So you need to make sure that you get your form and technique down properly with your power cleans and your hang cleans, because that's going to be the bridge between movements. So if you're doing like a deadlift, even like a bent row or something like that, where the barbell's on the lower part of your body, okay, and then you're going into a press, we're going to have to get that barbell up into that position somehow. And that's going to be through a hang clean or a power clean from the ground. All right, so just a couple tips and tricks on your power clean and your hang clean. We'll go ahead and start with your power clean. And obviously these are Olympic lifts, so these are very technical lifts to get down. But I'll just give you a couple quick tips and tricks. So number one, with your power clean, it's all about bar path. All right, we want to keep that bar going in a vertical line up and down. It'll curve back a little bit and then go straight up, but big issue is people get that barbell out in front of them, all right? So with your feet positioning, where you load your weight up in your feet is going to make a huge difference. So with your power clean, you're getting set up here, all right? So usually you want to go about thumb width outside of your hips or a fist width outside of your hips. Okay, so we get set up here. All right, knees are going to be in front of the bar. My weight's going to start out on the balls of my feet. Okay, back's flat, hips are down, arms are going to stay straight. And the first pull with your power clean is knees go back, right here. Knees go back, okay? So you're keeping that bar going in a straight path. You're moving your body out of the bar's way. You're not moving the bar out of your body's way, okay? So it's here, knees are going back, pushing back. What we're doing here is loading up the hips and hamstrings, all right? And my goal is to get that bar up into my hip pockets. That's where I'm going to be the most explosive, all right? So that's where we're going to be using our hips. So knees go back, boom. There's your power clean, all right? So you're exploding through. Need to be able to get into that good rack position, so elbows up. And now I'm good. So I can do a front squat from this position. I can do an overhead press from this position. I can push the bar up and over, get all set up for a back squat in this position. So learning the power clean is going to be very, very important in doing complexes. All right? So let's say we're doing a complex with deadlifts and front squats. Okay? So we start off with our deadlifts. Technique's going to switch up a little bit for our deadlifts versus our power cleans. So say I get my last rep of my deadlift, now I'm up here. I need to get the barbell up into the front squat position. So I need to use my hang clean, all right? So just a couple quick tips about hang clean. You want to make sure the weight's back on your heels. As we drop that bar down, don't bend forward with the knees. Push the knees back. What we're trying to do here is generate tension in the hips and hamstrings, okay? Just like with our power clean, we're trying to pull that bar up into our hip pocket. Here, boom, explode. Now I'm good to go. So, got that bar in that front squat position. I can go to my front squats, overhead presses, drop it down on my back, I can go back squats, whatever. Key important key tip here, picking up that power clean and that hang clean, all right? Once you get those two movements down, then you can really focus in on bettering your complexes, all right? So to end things out with these strength duos, all you're going to be doing with these is just taking two movements, focusing on 5 reps per movement, all right? So let's go back to a couple of my favorite setups, all right? So my first setup is going to be a deadlift to a front squat. So we'll go ahead and hit our deadlifts first. We'll just go 3 reps here. Boom. After my 3rd rep, now I need to hang clean it up. Boom. Hang clean it up. Now we can go into our front squats. Boom. So you're hitting your reps here. Boom. Then once you're done, drop your weight. Simple as that. And you can load it accordingly to the different movements that you're doing. But that's just simplifying things for you so you can just focus in on 2 movements at once and you can better yourself over time and then start adding more movements to your complexes. So if you're somebody that's just starting out, Strength duos are a great way to get your foot in the door with complexes and to progress ahead, all right? So in the description box below this video, I went ahead and listed a bunch of my other favorite strength duo setups, so feel free to use those, put them to the test, and see how you can progress with those, and then start taking it to the next level by adding more movements to your complexes, all right? So hope this helps you out. Keep going 110% ham. As always, live and train aggressive. Travis, I'm out.